This podcast has content that may be distressing to some listeners. Be sure to check the description below for content warnings. And now, to Lauren Woolley.
Welcome, listener. Here's the deal. We cover topics both raw and real, from heartfelt truths to challenging themes. Proceed with care through our streams. If certain topics stir or jar, know your limits, near or far. Take what helps, leave what stings. This space is yours to choose what rings.
If teaching is so easy and lucrative, please tell me. I noticed in your profile you have 3 children. Please tell me you are encouraging all 3 of your children to become teachers, because why wouldn't you want them to have an easy, lucrative job? Radio silence.
You want to bring us in today?
I'm bringing us in. I thought we were already here.
I guess we're here.
We're here?
We're here.
We're live?
We're live.
We're doing it live?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hello. Welcome to We Are Fine.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Anywho.
Hey, that's my line.
Then go ahead. Take it away.
Okay, well, welcome to We Are Fine. If you're new here, hi, I'm Lauren. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. We're doing good.
I think something is wrong with Jordan today.
I don't know.
Are you good?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
I'm making it through today.
I'm sorry. Like, guys, this has been just a chuckle fest for the past 10 minutes of just trying to, because I hope you know, when we film these episodes, we film our talking parts with our guest first. And then we go back and film the outro and intro, just to give you a little bit of movie magic on how podcasts work.
Wow. That's how it works?
Yeah. So we're doing this part last, which is why we're burnt out at the start. It's great. It's great. We're fine.
We're good. We're making it through.
That's how life goes.
We're living the message of this podcast.
We are. So if you're new here, welcome to the train wreck, and we hope you'll hop on board.
The dumpster fire.
Yeah, welcome to our little dumpster fire. We have this is our little mascot. His name is Trash Bandicoot, and
I forgot we named him that.
Yeah, Trash Bandicoot. If you're listening to us in your ear holes, it's a little glow in the dark dumpster figurine that we have on the table. But Jordan named him Trash Bandicoot a while back.
Yeah,
when we first bought him. So welcome to the dumpster fire that is our podcast. We're super excited that you're here. And even more so excited for the person we have on the show today, which is Dr. Jessica Hawk.
Yeah, and since you broke the fourth wall and everything, Lauren did not refer to her as a doctor. So everyone, boo!
Oh,
boo!
I'm sorry. I really am. She deserves all the doctors every single time, because getting a doctorate is hard. So I wish I would have said it when we were talking to her, but I'm going to make up for it by saying it a ton now and a ton later.
So right now you have 10 seconds to get in as many doctors as you can. Ready? Go.
Dr. Jessica Hawk, Dr. Jessica Hawk, Dr. Jessica Hawk, Dr.
All right, that's good enough.
Okay.
That wasn't 10 seconds. I got tired of that bit real quick.
Yeah, I was like, 10 seconds is a long time. I'm excited for today's guest, and I think we should just jump right into it, because we've got a jam-packed conversation with Dr. Jessica Hawk, also known as My Teacher Face on social media. She's hilarious. She's your senior She's your senior English teacher.
She's not an English teacher. She's your senior angler. So she's our senior fisherman.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
She is your senior English teacher, and she is going to talk all about her career as a teacher and how she's enjoying and thriving in retirement, which I'm jealous.
I was going to say, I am jealous.
I'm jealous. So you just buckle up, because we're going to hear all about how, if you're in our stage of life where we're still working full time and all that, we're going to learn all about how people in retirement are just living their best lives. And I'm so happy for them.
Yeah.
I wish that I was you, and I will be someday. And then I'll say the same thing to people younger than me.
You get to retire?
Maybe, I don't know. In this economy?
In this economy.
Okay, we'll be right back with Jessica. All right, guys, I'm so excited
Yay.
because we have such an amazing guest for you guys today, Jessica Hawk. I was just telling her like 2 seconds ago how I just in my head believe that we have been friends for 5 years because I have seen her on social media for 5 years and I just watch all her content. And so I'm like, this isn't the first time we've ever spoken face to face. We're friends.
And it's kind of surprising that this is the first time because
I know.
even during COVID, when we were doing the Zooms and everything else, it was never just the two of us. So
No,
this
there
is
were
our
like so
first
many
time.
people. Right.
Yay.
I'm just so excited. By the way, this is my husband, Jordan.
Hi.
Hi. I've been watching you as well.
Oh man, that usually does not mean good things for me, and
It
it's only
does.
embarrassing
The first time
things
you
I've
popped
done.
in, I was like, oh, there he is.
Oh my
I
gosh.
drag him into so many things, and
Yes.
he
Good for
so
you.
gracefully agrees to be a part of the chaos. So,
It's because I get to ham it up just so much
but
whenever you.
see, here's the thing, though. When I post videos with Jordan in them, people love him like more than me, and I'm like, hey, but you're really funny. I don't think you realize how funny you are in
True.
content.
And a very good
Oh,
cinematographer.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes,
That
I'm not gonna lie. I'm really lucky because
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have good content if he wasn't like mentoring me when I first started
Aw.
5 years ago.
Aw.
Crazy. But I have to ask because you just retired from teaching, correct?
I did. I
my
I
gosh.
retired in June after
Congratulations.
32 years. Thank you.
Oh my gosh! Congratulations. That's so
Thank you.
exciting.
It seems
So, like,
surreal.
yeah, does it?
To
How's it
say
going?
32 years. Before I retired, I was making a lot of videos about the end is coming and, all of the lasts of that year.
Yeah.
And because I love my school, I love my students, my colleagues, my administrators, believe it or not, were wonderful. It was bittersweet. And so I said,
Yeah.
I don't know who I am if I'm not a teacher, because for over 3 decades, that's how I've identified. And so
Right.
actually 2 years ago, when I knew I was approaching 55, I went into therapy. And I said, how do I make this transition out of the career that I've known my entire life to regular quote unquote life? And that helped a lot. And one of the things that I could say is that it's surprisingly great.
Yeah. No.
Yay.
Coming from a workaholic, like I know retirement is gonna be great. Like I'm so excited to not wake up to an alarm or like have some free time. But I also feel like I like to stay busy and I would probably be bored here and there.
I'm going to stop you there for a second, though. When do you wake up to an alarm?
Okay.
Because 90% of the time,
No.
it is me shoving you out of the bed, being like, "Hey, it's 7:30. You have 30 minutes to get ready."
Okay,
And that was the
if we're
8th snooze.
Yes.
if we're being honest, like I'm being 1,000% real with you right now. This morning, I legit rolled out of bed at 7:40. I didn't mean to. Like I set my alarm for 6:50.
I don't know what happened.
It didn't. Did it go off?
I remember hearing my 7:30 alarm go off, and
And you were like, Lauren's still here.
I don't know what happened. If it was just one of those like, oh, because like it's November, we're winter. There has been a couple times like when in our area we've had snow days this early, and I don't know why in my mind I was like, oh, there must have been a freak snowstorm, and she has a snow day.
At the beginning of November.
I know it was. I was also awake for like a half a second at that point. So
I honestly, though, I'm proud of myself because I am notoriously bad with time. Like I just cannot get anywhere on time or early. If I'm on time, it's a miracle. Today, I jumped out of bed. I looked at my phone, saw it said 7:40, and I kid you not, I flew out of that bed. I was
Hyperspeed.
probably
Yeah.
right. I was hyper speed. I walked in the bathroom, looked in the mirror, and I was like, thank God I don't have to do anything to my hair today. Like it just
Oh, I
kind of
love
held
those
the
days.
curl. Right. It held curl from yesterday. So I was like, oh, the Lord is shining on me. But that's one thing in retirement I will not miss is getting up to any kind of alarm.
No,
we
and I
make
will
a
say
we
that's one of the best parts
yeah.
because teaching high school, I got up at 5:30 every day
Ugh,
for
couldn't be me.
decades, and I'm a sleeper. So now
Yeah.
I go to bed at 1 a.m. and I set my alarm for 8 a.m., which is
Oh,
such a human way to go through
yes.
Yeah.
life. Instead of 5:30 to, wake up at 5:30, I always tried to be asleep by 10:30 at the latest. And now just the freedom.
You're like, I could pull an all-nighter if I want.
I have dinner at 9 o'clock. I start a movie at 11. It's wonderful. And another thing I think people don't realize when they've been in teaching for a long time is how you are always in not a panic mode, but you're always in a bundle of nerves, even if you don't realize
Yes.
it. And people say, well, didn't you relax over the summer? Well, my school got out the third week in June. And then we went back for, third week in June. And then I
What?
started setting up my room mid-August. But even during the whole summer, we're still getting emails. We're still getting, here's the
Yeah.
new schedule, here's the new change.
Mhm.
So I never truly disconnected. And
Yeah.
so this summer, when I ended school, I said, oh, I don't have to worry about my schedule for next year. I don't have to beg to not have bathroom duty. I don't have
Yes.
to wonder who I'm going to bribe to get into the school early to set up my classroom, which I always did with the
Me
custodians.
too. There's always someone. I mean,
Oh.
if I could give one tip to like new teachers or even, veteran teachers,
Yep.
get in good with the custodian staff. Like the maintenance personnel at your building will be your best friend if you are nice to them and you appreciate them.
And if you bring them
will
a little
have
bottle of
so
Crown
many
Royal.
favors. That
Oh,
too.
yeah, I think that's the key to anyone's heart.
That was
Anytime we
the
have like
key,
class
yeah.
parties, we'll give them all of our cupcakes and cookies. Like we'll have
Yeah.
extra. So I'm
Right.
always like, here custodians, like
Yeah,
here's some
absolutely.
cupcakes.
Absolutely.
But they will give you so many favors if you're nice to them.
They're wonderful.
So-
Secretaries,
Mhm.
administrative assistants, custodial staff, cafeteria staff. There's so many
Yes.
people that go into making a school day run the way that it runs, and you don't
Yes.
realize how seamless it is because they're all
Until those
just in the
people aren't there.
background.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Right.
They're in the background doing all the work. So
Absolutely. So I feel like I don't want to say I understand what that feeling is like, but I remember feeling somewhat like that when I first graduated college because I don't know why when I was younger, I had myself on like a timeline of like I had to have XYZ events happen at this point in my life and I wanted to be, at certain points at certain ages. And so when I first decided to go into teaching, like I wanted to speed through the program. So I didn't stop. Like I took classes all through summer and everything. And I was able to graduate in 4 years. And then like leading up to like the next school year, I had graduated. And then I was like, okay, now what? Like, because you don't just get handed jobs right away. You have to go on like a bajillion interviews and hope that a school needs you. So I wasn't getting any jobs and it was like July and I remember having like a quarter life crisis of like what do I do now? I'm not going back to college next semester. I don't have a job. What do I do? And I was panicking and I feel like I can't wait to have like free time to do my like the hobbies and things that I love to do and have more time for those things. But I also feel like I'm gonna go through another little crisis like that when I have to retire because I like to stay busy and I'm constantly working on something. So when I have too much free time, it makes me think too much and my brain goes crazy. So like, I love that you started up therapy and we are both in therapy as well. And I can't say enough good things about how helpful it is with those
I completely agree. Completely agree. And it was something where I was only with her for a year, but
Mhm.
as she talked to me and I said, well, who am I if I'm not a teacher? And she goes, why isn't Jess enough? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. She said, the people who love you, your family, your friends, your boyfriend, oh, are they looking at you as a teacher or Jess? And so why
Mhm.
isn't Jess enough? And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's really good. And I think for people like us, because I'm always busy as well, I always had my full-time job. And up until recently, I had 2 part-time jobs. And
Mhm.
I'm always making content and keeping up with everything. And, as a content creator, you want to go through and you want to engage with your audience, which takes easily 1 to 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
I'm busier than I thought I would be. So I get up around 8 and then I answer comments and respond to DMs for about an hour and a half. And then I prepare my content for the day. And then I take a break. I go visit my mom, who's 81. She's like one town over. I get to hang out with her, which is fantastic. How
Aw.
lucky am
That's
I
awesome.
Yes.
that
Yeah.
my mother is alive and healthy and funny. And she's going to be in some content coming up because she is
Oh,
a
yay.
I
riot.
love it.
She's just a comedy show in and of herself. And then in the afternoon, I come home and I'll record so I can prep it for the next day. So you'll
Yeah.
be busier than you think.
Yeah.
I was worried about free time as well because I can put a dent in a couch like nobody else. I really am very good. When COVID hit and they said you have to stay in your apartment, I was like, done.
You're like, oh no.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you so much for that directive. And nobody can visit me? Amazing. So
There's a word in the English language that means like you lays around in bed too long.
Herkle-durkle.
Herkle-durkle.
Yes, there's actually a word for that. Like, so we'll do that on Sundays. We'll every now and then we'll say that word. But like, yeah, when you like laze around and just kind of like hang out and you're like, just, be chilling, it's called herkle-durkling.
wow. So I'm a Herkle-durkler.
Yeah, we're all herkle-durklers at heart. I mean,
Yes.
Okay.
everyone likes to have a good herkle-durkle
Yeah.
every now and then.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's needed.
And if anyone says they're not, they're liars. Like,
I know, for real. I have to
I
tell
don't think
myself
I've
that
ever
though
met
sometimes.
one in the wild who wasn't.
Yes.
So, they could say that, but
No.
I haven't actually seen it in action.
So one of the things I love about your content that you create is not only just like the teacher side of things, but also the stuff that you share just about your personal life and just like how you're thriving in the stage of life that you're in right now. I find that so inspiring because, I mean, it makes me think of like people in my life that I know are, might be struggling with, those kinds of scenarios, like, people who are either newly divorced or people who are just not in a relationship and are looking for, something to bring joy to their life. And I love that you celebrate yourself being your like point of joy where you're spending time with friends and family. And you tell so much about that on your social media. What inspired you to start sharing that part of your life?
Well, I have to tell you, I stayed away from personal stuff for the first 3.5 years because
Mhm.
it's the wild, wild west out there. And
It
you never
is.
know how it's going to be perceived. You never know if you invite people into your life, then they feel as if they have a knowledge of you
Yeah.
and are able to comment on things that are a little more personal than what you let out there and they draw their own conclusions. But
Right.
I thought it was really important to show people that, I've always wanted to be child free, and that's just my choice. And out of my friend group, there are maybe 30% of us in each friend group who are child free. And the
Mhm.
people who are parents, we love to be with their kids. And so that's an aspect that I wanted people to see. And then the idea of being divorced and being afraid of being divorced is normal. I think it is a
Mhm.
very scary time. So I just wanted to share with people how I navigated that. And I have more videos ready to go. But it's definitely something where you say, oh my God, I didn't expect to be here. Where do I go from here? And how do I deal with the fallout? And one of the things that I realized very early on was that you wouldn't care what people thought about you if you realized how infrequently they did it. So, a lot of times people are like, well, what will the neighbors say? What will my church say? What will my family say? How will the person's family perceive me? You could have the what ifs for decades. And then where's your life? So I
Right.
just kind of want to show people that there is life on the other side. It can be fantastic. I have a wonderful boyfriend who has been with me for 5.5 years, and we live 10 minutes apart from each other. We have no intentions of moving in together. We have
You're
no
like, I need my free space. I need my personal space.
But here's the thing. I know that about myself. I know that I like my apartment exactly the way that it is. And I like very muted colors and I like things not to be moved. I'm very neat and very tidy and fastidious. And that's not a good person to live with. Let's be honest. I'm saving him a headache. But the other day I said to him, how about if you buy a duplex and I rent out half of it?
I'll live on one side, you live on the other. We could be near each other a lot of the time. Each of us have our own space. That is a genius idea.
I was going to say.
I know. And so I said, he loves the idea too.
Why don't more people think like that?
Well, I've got a lot of couples my age who have been married for years. They haven't slept in the same room for years because they need their sleep. They need their quiet. They need their personal space and time. And it's nice that they don't have partners who get offended by that. And so one of the things I love about my boyfriend is that he has so many groups of friends and he has interests and fantasy football and pickleball and all that. And I think that's the key to being able to have your separate time is that you each have interests outside of the relationship. And then when we do see each other, you're very excited to see each other. And, I did the whole live with somebody, pay the bills, cook the meals, do all of that. I get it. I did it. I'm good.
You're like, okay, I'm done with the trial run. I'll take my subscription and go. Like, I love that. Like, because my parents were married for over 25 years and then just got divorced. We've been married 6 years now.
Yeah.
And
oh my God, they 6 years.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But they got divorced right when we got engaged. So like I was in my 20s and it was like a whole new concept to me because my parents were always married and so I know for them it was like a transition going from being married to each other and living in the same house to now living separately and, no longer being together. So I love that you share that and that there is life after divorce and it's not something to be ashamed of. And it's not, sometimes things are not going to work out and that's okay because your happiness is the most important thing.
Yeah. And we're still friends it's not, nothing was dramatic or scandalous or, there was nothing. It's just sometimes people, and I say this to younger people all the time, I said, sometimes your lives go very parallel. Sometimes you go out and come back in, but sometimes you veer off and you don't know in your 20s who you're going to be in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. You don't know. And sometimes you grow together and you have a person who's supportive of you and that's wonderful, but that doesn't happen for everybody. And for the couples I know where that's happened, it's magical. It's wonderful. I'm so happy for them. But there's a reason why the divorce rate is over 50% because people morph and change and grow throughout their lives. And if you don't grow together and have the same goals, then it's kind of difficult. And I said, I just won't live a life of quiet desperation. I'm not going to sit here saying, I wish I could, I should have. I said, no, I'm a person of action.
No, I just love that. There, like you said, there's 1,000,001 different reasons for people to like experience divorce and all that stuff. And instead of viewing it as like the finite end to something in life and everything, viewing it almost as like it's one door closing. Now here's an opening in my life with 1,000,000 other experiences I can have. And I can move on from this experience to do so many other beautiful and awesome things. So I think that's just awesome.
I love that.
And when people DM me and ask me questions, because I have a lot of women, some in their 20s, but I usually have women in their 40s and 50s who will say, and I said, I cannot tell you if it's right, if it's the time for you. Only you can determine that. But I said, don't let the fear of the process or what's on the other side stop you from living your best life if this one is no longer fulfilling for you.
Right. I think that's so important because, just being someone that I grew up Roman Catholic and
Same.
like divorce was a no-no. Like it's a huge no-no. I don't know if it still is because I'm no longer Catholic, but like it just
Neither am I.
yeah. Funny how that happens.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's quite. But that's exactly it. It's I like that you said I forget exactly the words you used, but saying I wouldn't be worried so much about what people think of me if I realized how little they do
how
it.
infrequently they did it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I have had to do that a lot in my life and, tell myself, I wouldn't take criticism from somebody I wouldn't ask advice for or from.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of that when you're in your 20s and your early 30s, even you kind of are still in that mindset of worrying about what everybody thinks about you because everyone's going to have an opinion of you. Everybody is going to have some kind of something to say about every little thing you do. And like you saying about you sharing your personal life, I know I've seen some nasty stuff people have to say. And I mean, I've been on the end of that too for different things, but like it's your life and you have to make the decision that is going to be best for you and your mental health and your happiness. And, it's not everybody else's opinion that matters. Like it really doesn't.
And you only get one shot. And so, I just want everybody to really kind of, evaluate their life. And if they're reaching out to me, chances are things are not good. No good marriage ends in divorce.
You're not really questioning that. Yeah. You're not really questioning it if you're in a happy marriage.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when they're coming to me, this is something that's obviously been on their mind for a while. And I would never tell somebody what to do, but I sometimes will guide them how to figure it out for themselves. And just let them know you'll be okay. You really will be okay.
I love that. I'm so glad that you share that because I think that's such a valuable perspective for people to have. So
I'm trying.
I appreciate that. I mean, okay. So switching gears a little bit back to the classroom. So you taught high school, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I taught eighth grade for 1 year.
Okay. But you taught mostly like seniors or was that like one of your classes?
So I taught eighth grade for 1 year. By November, I was like, hard pass. I finished the year. And so after that,
middle school's rough. It's so rough.
Listen, you know how you said it's tough to find a job? I should have known when I went to University of Maryland, I went to a job fair and I got offered a job on the spot. That should have been my first clue.
Yeah.
That something wasn't quite right. And
I had one of those too.
Yeah. And, and so I was like, oh my God, I'm such a great candidate. They want me to teach at their school. And I have my little green suit on, my little 80s chunk heels. And I look like a grandmother. And as I got the job, I went into the school and I realized it was the first school over the Washington, D.C., Maryland line. So the kids who got expelled from D.C. schools came into our school.
Oh. Oh, okay.
So it was a baptism of fire. It was really interesting. They hated me in the beginning, but by the end of the year, it was great. It was really, but they were not giving me any passes. They were not giving me any leeway. It was the toughest 10 months of my life. And then I remember coming back to New Jersey and somebody said, oh, well, you're going to have a tough class. I was like, you're adorable.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I actually had the same situation. So like when I first started teaching, I taught second grade and it was a similar situation. I just had a rough go of it. And, my administrators at that school, I had like a couple really good ones. And then I had like my direct administrator was just not supportive at all. And that can literally make or break your experience when you're
100%.
teaching. And I just remember going to my new school and a couple of the teachers were like, oh, this is the worst class to ever come through here. And I was like preparing myself. And then here comes like the first few months of school. And I'm like, well, no one's hit me or thrown any of my things today. So I'm good. Like,
there you go.
Like, I'm okay.
I know. But isn't it great that we started with the toughest experiences first? because
And then it makes you really appreciate where you're at.
everything else has been easy. I remember doing summer school with 50 kids to a class, and the classes were 2 hours long, and the room just went on forever. I remember just seeing rows and rows. It was like, Fantasia. And I'm looking at all these kids. And I had kids who literally would not look at me, would not put their name on the paper. And I was like, yeah, whatever. You're not hitting me. You're not chasing me. You're not cursing me out, so fine. Fail summer school, like what can I do? And then I got to the school where I worked for the past 30 years. And I was very, very lucky to be in a district where I felt valued and supported by my administration almost my entire 30 years. There were a couple who came in and out here and there, that's par for the course. But overall, I had a lot of strong women leaders in my district, which was wonderful. They just didn't take anything from anybody. Somebody would come in and say, I'm going to do this and that. And they'd be like, okay, go. My superintendent one time had a parent come in and she was going off and saying, well, I'm going to call my lawyer. My superintendent looked at her and says, oh, use my landline. It's better reception. I'll use my cell phone to call my lawyer. Go ahead, right there, dial 9. You do that once or twice and the message gets out. And, they didn't blindly support teachers if somebody wasn't doing a good job or if something had gone wrong. But for those of us who were doing what we needed to do, they really
respected you as a professional.
They respected us. They respected our time. They didn't grind us. We just had a new assistant superintendent come in a couple of years ago, and the state of New Jersey has these things that happen in education, of course, and it was called the student growth objectives and the professional learning things. And he said, listen, none of this affects your teaching. I did it for the whole district. Sign it. He goes, that time you would have spent doing that, I want you to come up with new lessons for your students on your own time, but you don't have to do these things. Open it, sign it, you're done for the year.
Amazing. Love that.
and he was saying the truth, because these things, if it were smaller and monitored on a small scale, it could have helped us. But you know who helped us more? Our direct supervisors, our vice principals, our colleagues. So to put all of these reports into the state really wasn't the best use of our time. And he recognized that, and he gave us our time back. And it's those little things I wish more administrators understood. But I think in order to be that type of administrator, you have to be confident. You have to be somebody who is, experienced, confident, and you're willing to listen. And I find that when new administrators would come in, or younger administrators, they were always trying to, as new teachers sometimes do, they were always trying to stamp their foot and be like, I'm in charge. And I'm like, are you though? Are you?
No.
I was 30 when you were born. So pipe down.
I love that.
Just
So
relax.
I'm getting my master's in ed leadership right now. And I'm in the first half of my internship. And then I have just like one more semester of the internship and I'm done. And that is something that like, I love hearing other people's perspectives on like good administrators that they've had.
Yes.
And because I feel that same way. Like my administrator right now, unless you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, or you're not doing something you should be doing, she's going to leave you alone and let you do your job.
I love it.
It's great. She doesn't micromanage. Like if you need her help, she's there. She understands that life happens and sometimes you're going to have to, be flexible with your teachers about, letting them maybe leave a few minutes early to get to an appointment, or, if it's an emergency situation, helping them get coverage quickly so they can go. Like
go to see their child's recital in kindergarten. Or the winter program in 3rd grade.
Yes. It's
important.
all of that. It's important. And I think that's something that goes along with being a teacher, and this misconception that, do we have, time when we are not working during the summer? Sure. But life doesn't only happen in the summer. Like there are so many other things that occur during the school year, and we don't have just a whole bunch of PTO to take off. So having an administrator that just understands that and is so supportive in that aspect, like your your teachers are going to work that much harder for you if you show them that you
100%.
value them as a human being.
100%.
And I think
And
that goes
that's
for
all it
any
takes.
boss.
Yeah, I've never gotten the micromanager like style of leadership.
You've
just
been very
because
lucky.
I've indirectly had to deal with that, and even indirectly, it was just a pain because it's just I never got it because like if I was like I don't want to micromanage somebody.
Yeah.
It's just annoying to do that. And then to do that with no cause is just insane to me. And then like the other thing too is like we had indirectly I had to deal with it one time in my like professional career, and it was to the point where like something happened and this boss was just like, "Oh, I want asses in seats from 8:30 to 5 every day."
Oh,
And like the problem with it was like something came up in her life where she had to start missing and everything. And then like the staff was kind of like getting mad with her because like, "Hey, you want us here from here to here, but you're
not
never
even
here. So what's the deal?" And it's
Right.
just like I think when you get on that train of like micromanagement and that really authoritarian like leadership style, the hypocrisy just flows. And because like life happens and like
Yeah.
when it affects you, you're real like people like that are real like, "Oh, well, like it's like my mother's sick or something, so I have to go take care of it." And it's like, hey, you're like the people you're leading are dealing with the same thing. Life never stops for any of
100%.
us.
And that's
So
the bizarre part about teaching is that being absent is way more work than going
Mhm.
into work. And so I
Yeah.
think teachers plow through it so often and miss the recital and miss the doctor's appointment with a relative and miss all of this because doing the lesson plans for a day out and then the work you need to review when you get back, because let's face it, if you don't give a lot of work or any work, the kids probably, are not going to be good for the sub, or there could be some
Right.
issues, especially in the lower grades. You do need to keep them occupied. We
Yeah.
just kind of plow through everything just because it's easier.
Yeah, it is.
And that's a weird way to live.
It is. And I have tried to be better about that over, the last few years of my career. Just that mindset of like your job would not hesitate to find someone to replace you if you died tomorrow.
Mhm.
So like if you have something you have to deal with, take the sick day
Yes.
and deal with your mental health, deal with your physical health.
Right.
If you just need a rest day,
Right.
rest. Like it's
Right.
okay. Like I get that it is stressful though because the world doesn't stop turning when you take off work as a teacher. And I know other jobs are also like that, but there's just something like about having to plan out the entire day. Like when you wake up sick and you're throwing up in the morning and you have to sit there on your computer and write sub plans
Oh.
at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it's miserable.
it's miserable.
So-
I've done them when I've woken up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning with a sore
Yeah.
throat. And I sit there bleary eyed typing out detailed plans of what has to be
Yes.
done. And, I made a video not too long ago where I took my mom to Wake Forest, North Carolina, to visit my stepsister, her daughter, and granddaughter. And while we were there, I was walking around and it was a random Monday in October. And I said, if I were a teacher, I probably would have said no to this vacation because I would have been leaving on a Sunday night. I would have missed Monday and Tuesday. I would have come back on a Wednesday with frenetic energy, trying to catch up with everything and trying to put out the fires that might have started. And I said,
Yes.
and I made a TikTok about it. I was casually walking around a gorgeous neighborhood on a Monday in October. And I said, one of the things that I didn't realize about teaching until I fully stepped away was the amount of energy that just happens when you have 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 human bodies in a building.
Yeah.
There's always movement. There's always questions. You're on, as a teacher, you're on all the time.
Yes.
And people say, well, what about your prep period? I was like, have you heard of coverages? Have you heard of meetings? Have you heard of trying to copy
Right.
something and go to the bathroom? Kids staying late. Can I talk to you for a second about, I don't understand this. Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
So it's just that constant contact.
1,000%. It's like you're just, I don't know how fast like our brains have to be firing to make as many quick thinking choices that we do throughout a day of teaching. And I know there's going to be somebody that's going to say, well, other jobs do that. Have you tried being like a doctor or a surgeon? I can only speak from the perspective with which I have. And that's being a teacher. I know there are other jobs out there where this is probably a similar mindset, or, you can relate to it. If that's the case, let me know down below. Cause I mean, we can support each other, but it's rough.
But we're talking about thousands of bodies with us, and that's different. So if you're in an office, like my boyfriend's a lawyer, he has an office, he has a secretary who sits right outside. He picks up and goes to lunch out at a restaurant. And I'm like, what do you mean? You go sit down at a restaurant and have lunch with? And he's like, yeah, when do you eat lunch? And I was like, at my desk, I shove a protein bar in my mouth in 5 minutes. Like people don't understand what that is. And so one time I had a troll come on and say, teaching's so easy and you guys have summer off and you get paid, blah, 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 blah. And was just going on and on about how easy and lucrative teaching is. So I said to him, if teaching is so easy and lucrative, please tell me. I noticed in your profile you have 3 children. Please tell me you are encouraging all 3 of your children to become teachers, because why wouldn't you want them to have an easy, lucrative job? Radio silence, nothing.
Exactly.
So if you're not telling your kids to be teachers, there's probably a reason why.
Right. I'm going to clear this up for everybody who might not know this, okay? Because I hear this all the time. Whenever anyone hears a teacher even remotely complaining or saying something, like venting about their job, the immediate argument is, well, you get all this time off and your job is so easy. For one thing, okay, if we're talking about the summertime, teachers are off during the summertime because they're not getting paid for those days that they're off. Yeah. We might be getting a paycheck during the summer, but that's because we're getting paid for the 180 days that we taught during the school year, and they're spreading it out over 12 months. So we have a paycheck. Some school districts I know don't do that. We
don't get paychecks in the summer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like our school district, we do.
Our last paycheck is June 30th. And then our first paycheck is September 15th.
Okay. Because my district pays year round, but it's my pay stretched over
yes.
however many pays that is, 20-something pays.
We all take money out of our pay as we get older. Younger teachers can't do this because they're paying for student loans and everything else. So they just get a part-time job during the school year and then a full-time job in the summer. I don't know too many teachers who don't work in the summer, especially if they're within the first 15 years of their job. But as I got pay raises, I started to put more into my tax shelter and in my summer pay, because I knew eventually I didn't want to work in the summer. And I think it was around year 15 to 20 where I could
that you were able to not do that?
Yeah. So I just took money out of each paycheck, put it in a credit union, and then I paid myself. But no, June 30th is the last one. September 15th is the first one.
Yeah. So the next time somebody says, well, teachers get paid to be off in the summer.
No, we don't.
I'm not trying to argue with you. I just want that to be clear. We do not get paid to sit at home, although that would be lovely. No.
And I do a lot of free work in the summer. A lot of teachers do free work where they're revamping lesson plans and they're planning for the new year. And those of us who go in and do our copies and set up our room in August, we don't get paid for any of those days.
No,
we're doing it because we want the room to be ready for the kids and to make the kids have a great experience. But that is all unpaid time. Everything we do at home, unpaid overtime.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to, you know what I'm going to do this summer?
What's that?
I'm going to keep track of how many hours I put in to preparing for the next school year. I just for myself, I just want to see how many that is, because I'm sure I'm going to be disgusted.
I was going to say, you're not going to like the answer to that.
It's going to add up for sure. But yeah, I thank you so much for your insight. I think this is so awesome to hear from like a teacher who has, been in the career for 32 years and is enjoying retirement and, just owning your identity after teaching. I love that so much for you.
Thank
And I just
you.
want to
happy
say,
about that.
I am jealous of your boyfriend by the fact that he can go out to a restaurant for lunch. I work a corporate job and I eat a power bar at my desk, hoping and praying that I can get like 5 minutes to go to a bathroom.
I know. I will also
Yeah.
tell you to make it worse that sometimes he goes to the tennis drills at the
Oh
club
my gosh.
and then showers and
We
comes
need his
back.
job.
They
Yeah,
can
I
be
was
his
gonna
job.
say.
Yeah. He's in a small law firm, but they're it's really something where you're like, people live like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's insane. All
Yep.
right. Well, we are going to be right back with a fun game to end with Jess. All right, everybody. We are
All
back
right.
with Jessica, and we are going to play a super fun Mad Libs lesson plan game.
I used
'Cause,
to
you
love
know,
these as a kid.
If you ask
What can go wrong?
teachers,
Yes.
right, what can go wrong? If you ask a teacher's favorite thing, it's lesson planning.
I thought you were going to say it was Mad Libs.
No, we all know it's lesson planning. I loved writing 25-page lesson plans my first year teaching. It was great. So in this game, ChatGPT wrote us a lesson plan, and we're going to take turns choosing a word to go in the Mad Lib spot.
Okay.
The first thing we need is an adjective, Jordan.
Adjective. Fast?
Fast?
Yeah,
Mhm.
fast.
Okay, fast.
Yeah.
Wait, you questioned me and I was like, wait, is that not an adjective?
No, it's just because I'm wearing headphones and it was hard to hear you.
Oh.
Okay, Jess, we need a noun.
Spatula.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Spatula. Okay, and then we need a topic.
Transcendentalism.
I love it.
Yes, that one. That's it. Transcendentalism.
I wonder how
a little-
spatulas are going to help with transcendentalism.
Yeah. Okay, and the grade level? First grade.
Oh no.
For our learning objective, we need an action verb, Jordan.
Rights.
What is it?
Rights.
Oh, rights. Like, okay, W-R-I.
Yeah, W-R-I-T.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yes.
I'm moving at a slower pace today. I
I was
don't know
gonna
why. It's like taking me a second to hear what you're saying.
It was that waking up at 7:40 just
It just threw off my whole
Yeah,
day.
whole day's gone.
Okay, Jessica, a skill or knowledge?
A skill or knowledge. Backflip.
Ooh, I like that one. Okay, another verb. I'm going to go with hops.
Very
Okay.
demure, very mindful.
Yes. Okay, we need a teaching method or a tool.
Okay.
Like a teaching method or a teaching tool, I'm thinking.
Direct instruction. Because
Okay,
that goes great with first graders.
and hopping.
Yeah.
I was going to say PowerPoint.
Okay, and then Jordan, activity or assessment?
PowerPoint making.
Okay, PowerPoint making.
Yay.
All right.
First graders can totally do that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay,
I
a
don't know, have
school
you seen some of them?
supply. I'm going to say scissors.
First graders and scissors go well.
Yes. Title of a book.
Let's see here. I'm going to pick one at random.
Okay.
The couple at number 9.
Okay. That first grade murder mystery classic.
Yes.
Jessica, a number
11.
and a classroom item.
Stapler.
Ooh, okay. All right, Jordan, type
Yes.
of activity.
Don't say PowerPoint.
He's like, what other teaching activities are there?
Thumb wrestling.
Thumb wrestling.
Nice.
Okay. Jessica, related concept to transcendentalism.
Guided meditation.
Ooh. Okay. So we're going to thumb wrestle and have some guided meditation. Okay.
I do that all the time. What are you talking about? I have a yoga studio session on that after this.
Very zen.
Yeah, very zen.
Okay. Okay, noun, Zen garden.
Oh, good one.
Ooh.
There you go. Okay, Jordan, a number.
Number 42.
Jessica, a noun task.
A noun task?
A noun task.
a
Like
run?
a thing. Sure. Let's go with that. A run. Okay, Jordan, a school material.
Chart paper.
Oh, good one. Okay.
Oh, coming out of nowhere with the chart paper.
I was gonna say
See, you
I
know
pay
he's-
attention sometimes.
You know he's married to a teacher. Okay, Jessica, anytime transcendentalism comes up, I'm throwing it back at you. An aspect of transcendentalism.
A peaceful connection to nature.
Oh, there you go. Peaceful connection to
Can
nature.
you tell I taught it for 27 years?
I love it. I love it. Is that like what is that? Walt Whitman?
Close. Emerson and Thoreau.
Emerson and Thoreau.
Whitman's
I
a little
had
bit
Thoreau
later.
in my head.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of Whitman, but I had Thoreau in my head. Okay. Wait, what was the really famous Thoreau? Was it when we went to like a lake house?
Walden?
Yeah.
Yes. It's been a minute since I've been in high school.
No, that's a
English.
great memory. My goodness, I'm impressed.
I loved English
gonna
in
say,
school. I was in all the
I did
honors
love Walden though.
Englishes.
That was I
Yeah,
enjoyed
Walden.
that one. Yeah.
I liked more like The Crucible, Scarlet Letter,
I
Sinners
love
at the Hands of an
Crucible.
Angry God. Those were all my favorites.
Those are all the things I taught. I love them all.
Yes, I loved that. That was my junior English class
I was
was
gonna say,
one of my favorites.
That was my favorite. That's one of my favorite teachers too. Was my junior English teacher,
Mrs. Carcelli.
Mrs. Carcelli.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. An amount of time, 7 hours.
7 hours.
Yep. Okay, Jordan, a skill.
A skill. Playing poker.
Jessica, a verb.
Let me think. Well, I use spatula, so I don't want to use cooking. I would put yelling
Yelling.
because that'll contradict the meditation.
Another related concept to transcendentalism.
Oh, okay. Writing. Oh, did we say writing before?
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, Jordan, a classroom tool or resource.
Oh, what are those blocks that the cubes that you stick together?
Omnifix cubes
Omnifix cubes.
That's a mouthful.
that I used to teach volume. Okay, a verb. I'm gonna go with puke.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna make this take a turn.
Wow.
It's gonna take a turn. Okay, classroom activity, Jessica.
Oh God, I hate it, but I'm gonna say it. Think, pair, share.
Oh.
It's the worst. Oh my gosh. Or like for us, turn and talks.
Turn and talk.
Like,
Think, pair, share.
I-
The actual activity of like talking with a partner, I don't mind. Just
Right.
saying turn and talk over and over again, or think, pair, share over and over again. Okay. A presentation method. I'm gonna go with trifold board.
Oh, PowerPoint.
No.
Kicking it old school.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna kick it old school. Okay, Jordan, a verb.
A verb. Tap dancing.
Nice.
And Jessica, last one, a type of exit activity.
I don't know why I thought of this. I heard you say exit cartwheels.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
I
gonna be
believe that is
cartwheeling out of
the
this lesson.
correct answer.
I can't wait. Oh my lord. Okay, are we ready for this
Oh, I
hot
don't think
mess
we are ready.
express?
I am absolutely ready for this transcendentalism lesson plan.
Okay. Here it is.
Okay.
Fast spatula. Learning about transcendentalism. Grade level, first grade. By the end of this lesson, students will be able to write backflips. They will learn how to hop using direct instruction and demonstrate their understanding by PowerPoint making.
That actually worked well.
Yeah.
It kind of did. Materials needed: scissors, the couple at number 9, and 11 staplers.
Not the book, the actual couple.
Yeah, the
Yes.
actual couple at number
Yes.
9.
We need 2 people that live at number 9,
I'm
whatever
gonna be
street
honest,
that is.
I'm worried about them because we need 11 staplers and a pair of scissors. That is not good.
They should be afraid.
They should.
Okay, introduction. Start by introducing the topic with a brief thumb wrestle.
You know, my dad, whenever he wanted to teach me something new in life, would always start it with a good thumb wrestle.
That's Midwestern, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is. It's an Ohio
true
thing.
Ohio. Yeah.
That and casseroles, yeah.
Yes. Engage students by asking them to think about guided meditation and to share any Zen gardens they may have about the topic.
That's metaphorical. It's Zen gardens in quotation marks.
Yes. It's a metaphorical Zen garden. Activity 1. Divide the students into 42 groups and assign each group a run. So not only do we have an insane amount of children in this class,
With staplers.
but now they're all running, yes, with staplers.
Running with scissors.
But now they're all going for a run. Everyone's doing a lap
Yep.
while they ponder their life.
I think that works out. I think I have never thought more clear in my life when I did distance running.
There you go.
So I think we're on to something here. I
Okay,
think we can
cross-country
package-
running,
I
transcendentalism.
love that leap you just took
Yes.
to connect this.
I think we have something we could package and sell.
The fast spatula backflip gymnastics you just did to get to
There you
that
go.
point. That was a terrible job. Okay. Each group will use chart paper to explore a peaceful connection of nature.
Oh,
Aw,
I like that.
that worked.
low-key love.
That works. After 7 hours, have each group present their findings on playing poker.
See, that was the other chapter of Walden that
Yes.
most people didn't
Oh,
read. It was the,
the poker playing.
chapter.
Oh,
Yes.
I was gonna
okay.
say-
Is that where those like dogs playing poker
I was
came
gonna say,
from?
That's the companion
It was.
piece to Walden.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. That was like
Little
the
known fact.
multimedia piece.
Yes.
I got you. Okay. So, but you got to make sure that it's a solid 7 hours of
Of course.
charting.
And it needs to be on the dot too. Like a millisecond over, it's ruined. You
It
can't-
is.
Yeah.
The transcendentalism isn't transcendental.
It's gone.
Transcendentalizing at that
Yes.
point. Okay. Activity 2. Introduce the main hands-on activity where students will yell to demonstrate their understanding of writing.
You know, there is nothing more peaceful than a good yell.
I like to yell
To
when I
demonstrate
wait
your understanding
also.
of writing.
Yes.
Yeah. You know,
I wrote a
spoken
paragraph.
word, written word. They go hand in hand. Guide them step by step through using Omnifix cubes to complete the task. Do they have to write with the cubes?
Yes.
They just spell everything by cube?
Spell it with your cubes.
Spell it with your cubes.
Spell it with your
Oh,
keys.
that's the reference.
Yes, I know what it is. Easy A.
Oh, we
Yes,
love that
I love that
movie.
movie so much.
Walk around the room to provide support and answer questions as students puke individually. Not the puking. That is my honest to God worst nightmare. It's let alone one student puking in my class. Like that's unavoidable. Kids get sick.
Oh my
But-
god.
Every single student puking individually is my worst nightmare.
I think do they have to
No,
close
that's-
off the
that's-
school the next day for that? Like
No, that's a
42 kids
biohazard.
puking. Yeah.
42 children. No, that was 42 groups.
42 groups.
Oh. I thought
We're talking about
they
120.
Yeah. There's a lot of kids.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
The smell.
assessment. For assessment, have students complete a think, pair, share. Alternatively, each student can present their work to the class by trifold board. So they're going to make a PowerPoint and then scrap the PowerPoint and put it all on a trifold.
Yes.
And then yell and then do the trifold.
Yeah, and then maybe talk to their neighbor about it at some point. Reflection and wrap up. bring the class together for a quick discussion to tap dancing. So, wait, to tap dancing? So you're going to play like tap dancing on the computer or something, and you're going to discuss over the tap dancing sounds?
Yes.
That sounds awful too.
I've never been more in focus than listening to like the river dance go on in the background. Helps me really narrow in.
Okay, but
Wow.
that's
So
What is
long
that?
runs and river dance.
Yes. This is cross curricular. We're combining English
Phys
language
ed.
arts with phys ed.
Yes.
There you go. And music education from the yelling and the tapping.
Right. I love it.
It's essentially like
This is
yodeling.
marketable.
It is. Ask each student to share one thing they learned or found interesting about transcendentalism. Conclude with a cartwheel to check for understanding and gather feedback. If you can cartwheel, you pass the lesson.
I
Oh
want to
my
know
God,
the
that's
feedback
great.
you get
Wow.
from the cartwheel, though. Is
This
it like,
first grade lesson on transcendentalism is something, man.
oh, I think it's perfect. I think it's ready to go. No,
yeah.
no notes.
No, that's a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
100
is
out
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, though, for this being a ChatGPT lesson plan, it was pretty good in the structure of things.
Format. It has the
It
whole
does.
prescribed thing. Yeah.
It just, the only thing it doesn't have is some good scaffolding.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Don't even get me started on those words.
Oh, we love the teacher, buzzwords.
Yeah, because it's a paradigm shift.
It is. This was so fun. I love the Mad Libs. This is the first time we've done the Mad Libs. That was so
get
fun.
out. That's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
yes.
set a high bar.
We
I
did.
want everybody
Yeah.
coming
Yes.
after. I don't know if they're going to be able to like reach the heights that we have reached. And I feel I need to cartwheel out when we're done with this. So
I think
just
so.
let me know.
I
I'll
think
take my headphones off.
yeah, I think that's the only way. But thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining us
thank
today.
you.
This was so
Aw.
fun.
It
And I'm
was.
so
I
glad
loved
that we
it.
finally
Yes.
could sit down and talk. And
Me too.
Yeah.
It's too long. We can't let it
It
go that long
is.
again.
no, we'll share numbers because I'm gonna be like, Jess, we can vent about the world together.
I love it.
So before you go though, are there any like projects that you're working on that you would like to share?
Yes. Well, for the past, I just signed with an agency in LA because I would like to get back into commercials, which I used to do in the
Awesome.
80s when I was in high school. And I'll see
Cool.
how that goes because I'm right near Philly and New York. So I said nothing on the West Coast. I'm not flying to do that.
We're not even that far from you then.
6 hours. Well, where are you?
Yeah. We're in like an hour from Cleveland.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah. So I mean,
Aw.
I know Philly's the other side of Pennsylvania, but still,
Right,
I mean,
right.
usually all the people that I talk with are on the other side of the country. So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Aw,
Awesome.
East Coast and Midwest. I love it.
Yes.
Yes.
And
What kind
then
of commercials did you do?
a clothing store, hair salon, restaurant, all kinds of things. And I did Build-A-Bear a couple years ago, and it's just something I
Cool.
enjoy, but I don't know, being on a set all day is exhausting and sometimes the pay isn't that great. So I said, I'm going to be judicious in what I choose.
Yeah.
And then I've been working with a producer in LA for the past couple of years, workshopping a little project that we hope will eventually make it to streaming. So
Awesome.
my
I'm
gosh.
keeping it kind of under wraps. We're in the workshop phase right now, and everything's outlined. So we'll see. Listen, the chances of anything happening are slim to none, but why not give it a shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Those sound like so many fun projects. I can't wait to hear about them once you're ready to announce any of them.
Thank you.
But good luck with everything and
Thank you.
enjoy retirement. And I'm just so happy for you. Before we go though, where can people find you on social media?
Well, they can find me on TikTok and Instagram at my teacher face. And in August, I joined YouTube. So I
Yay!
now
Go
have a
follow her on
presence
YouTube.
there. I'm small
Woo!
potatoes. I only have 50,000 followers, but I'm trying to build it up
Yeah.
as much
That's
as possible.
awesome.
But I love the audience at YouTube. It's completely
Yeah.
different than Instagram and TikTok. And I'm
I
really
think the audience is
enjoying my
different a lot.
time there.
Yeah.
They're wonderful.
They are. Well, good luck with all of that. Make sure you guys go and follow her. I just have to slip this in there before you go, though. Also, I'm going to say before you go 7 more times. But I love that your handle is my teacher face. That has a really hilarious story behind it.
Yes.
Can you give us the short version of that story?
Yes. So for a number of years, I was the internal suspension monitor at the high school first period of the day, and I needed to set the tone. And of course, kids came in and they were in there for discipline. And so I would just sit behind the desk and do this. And I could hold it for minutes, 10 minutes, and kids would just say, stop looking at me. And it really did kind of get the mood. And I wouldn't break character. I wouldn't do anything. So stop giving me that teacher face. And I'm like, but it's my teacher face. So
I love it. And then you did that in your yearbook photo every year, didn't you?
I did for the past 6 or 7 years. And then this last year, there were about 40 or 50 staff members who did it as well.
Which is so special because they did that in honor of your retirement, right?
So sweet. I had no idea. And they made a little yearbook for me with all of those pictures. It was really, really special.
Amazing. So I just wanted to end on that note because it's such a fun story. But again, thank you for being here today. I can't wait to have you back on the show already.
Oh, thank you. I would love to come back anytime.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we'll be right back. Oh my gosh, I love Jessica. And first things first, I have to apologize because never once did I refer to her as Dr. Jessica Hawk. So first and foremost, she is Dr. Jessica Hawk. So let that be clear. I feel like I need to say it. Yeah, I totally it went right over my head. And I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. I need to say it now. So.
Well, now you said it.
I did. I know. Dr. Jessica Hawk. Like, that is awesome. So I just
I'm not going to lie.
It.
That's a badass name.
It is. That's a cool name.
That is just a badass name.
Dr. Jessica Hawk.
It almost sounds, well, okay. I might be letting my nerd out here because one of my favorite characters in My Hero is Hawks.
Oh, yeah.
And he's super cool. And then it's like Dr. Jessica. So it sounds like a superhero name almost. Like it should be in Marvel.
For me, it does. It sounds like almost kind of like a Tony Stark.
Yes.
Like a super genius scientist.
Yep.
That name gives off that energy.
Yep.
So awesome. Good for you, Dr. Jessica Hawk. I love it. I loved having her on the show. She was so fun.
That was a lot of fun. That lesson plan, man.
The fast spatula of transcendentalism.
And I'm not going to lie. Every time you guys said transcendentalism, I don't know why my mind kept flipping to a song by Death Cab for Cutie because the song's called Transatlanticism.
Oh, okay.
And every time I was like, oh, why are we talking about Death Cab? No, we're not. We're not talking about Death Cab, Jordan. Stop.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, it is time for our special bond this week. So this week's special bond comes from Sophia. She says, in 8th grade, I took a design class about art. It was a required class for everyone. And the teacher of that class, for me, was one of the most influential people I've ever met. He helped me through countless things in my 8th grade year, like the grief process, and he showed me that certain things that are out of control can be difficult to accept, but that you get there eventually, and you don't need to rush or stress about it. This lesson ended up doing so much for my mental health.
Oh,
I love that.
I do. I like that a lot.
I love that after every special bond, but I love all of them.
I was going to say, they've all been just really good. No, I like that one. I think you should take some lessons from that one about slowing down and relaxing. And
I'm an expert on rushing and stressing about things.
I know you are. That's why I'm saying Sophia has served you.
I know
a lot of life lessons that she's learned and is saying, hey, Lauren Woolley, you should learn these too.
I should. I know. But that's a great life lesson that your teacher taught you. And it's always
I'm just going to say, leave it to the design teachers to be super cool. Like, yeah.
Right. And like profound.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. It's the artsy ones. It's
It is.
always the artsy ones that give the most profound life lessons.
Most profound are art and English teachers.
I agree.
They are always the most profound.
I agree. I agree. And then your math and science teachers are going to give you logical answers to everything.
Yeah. They bring you back down when your head gets too in the clouds.
Yeah. But you need a healthy balance of all of that.
You need a healthy yin and yang. You need the...
Exactly. You need some logic with your, daydreamer mentality.
Exactly.
We love it.
That's what I am to you.
Exactly. I'm the daydreamer, and Jordan brings me back down to earth sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Anywho, if you guys want to share your special bond with us, we would love to hear it. Please submit it at hello@wearefinepod.com, or you can head over to Instagram and TikTok and reach out to our human content family at Human Content Pods, where you can also tell us about your thoughts about the show, how you liked it.
I don't know why you're pointing at me.
What you didn't like?
Oh, that's not, I don't want to hear that. No, I want to hear that because I don't want to do it again.
Exactly. And who else you want us to have on the show, because we love having all kinds of guests on the show. Doesn't have to necessarily be someone who's a teacher.
Yeah.
So we would love to talk to them. Let us know who you would like to have on the show next. I have to clue all of our audience members into something.
Please do not.
I am. Okay.
No, that is, oh no.
So we have a document that we follow to help us keep the show on track. Otherwise, things would go off the rails.
Are you going to shame me right now?
No, I'm not shaming you. We have an iPad in front of us.
That I also didn't charge and then put on a cord, and then the cord decided not to work.
Technology
and then
sucks sometimes.
Died in the middle of the show.
It's okay. But we usually have to get up and down to keep scrolling up on the iPad so we can see it. And Jordan just, 4D chess moved his way to moving it with his toe. So it works.
Now everyone is going to think that I use my iPad with my feet. And I don't want that to be
a special skill.
No, it is not my special skill, please. I use my iPad with my hands.
Of the feet.
Of the feet. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter.
Or of the legs?
Yeah.
Hands of the legs.
I guess it doesn't matter.
Whatever.
At the end of the day.
Feet, toes. He uses his toes.
I was gonna say, you can use it however you want to use it.
I think it's a special skill.
It's my special skill. Okay. The fact that I can just reach my leg and there we go.
Yeah, do one of those.
There we are. Okay. If for some reason you want to watch this in its video format, you can head over to her YouTube channel at Mrs. Woolley and Fifth.
New episodes every Wednesday.
Yes, new episodes every Wednesday.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We're your hosts, Lauren and Jordan Woolley.
Our special guest today was Dr. Jessica Hawk.
And you can follow her at My Teacher Face.
Our executive producers are Lauren Woolley, Jordan Woolley, Aaron Corney, Rob Goldman, and Shanti Brooks.
Our editor is Andrew Sims.
Our engineer is Jason Portizo.
Our music is by Omer Benzvi.
To learn about our program disclaimer and ethics policy and submission verifications and licensing term, go to wearefinepod.com or reach out to us at hello@wearefinepod.com with any questions or concerns.
This podcast discusses sensitive and challenging topics, including mental health and personal struggles. If you're in crisis or need someone to talk to, please reach out to the Suicide Hotline at 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You are not alone.
We Are Fine is a human content production.
Hey, you.
Hey.
I love that shirt you're wearing.
And you know what would go great with that shirt?
What?
A nice big virtual hug. And you can get that by hitting some of these buttons down here. Subscribe, like, comment. We'll give you a big old virtual hug.
Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you guys next Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.